Welcome back to Finn vs. History. As ever, I'm joined by Horatio Gould.
Death to America!
And this is part 3 of our epic series on the Islamic Revolution in Iran.
Yeah.
We are in 1978.
Yep.
For context, this is after Pele's won the World Cup.
Yeah.
Pele's in America, probably.
Yeah.
New York Cosmos.
Cosmos, yeah.
It's before Zidane's headbutt.
Yeah.
So that should place it in the history of football.
This is where Pele is playing against kind of like basically amateur non-league players and racking up his goal tally.
And he's getting a big endorsement from Viagra companies.
Is he?
Yeah, he's like the original influencer, but for making your dick big.
Really?
Yeah. They joke about it in The Simpsons. That's how.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I also saw a kind of like, it could have been like Take a Break mag or even Daily Mail. Or Daily Mirror, just an absolute rag, saying that exhume Pele because he's my dad, and it's someone claiming it's his dad and he wants to exhume Pele's
exhume
body.
Pele. Now we're very pro exhuming. Pro
yeah, I know, but
embalming.
I want to start in a hashtag exhume Pele. It's just a great thing to start trending. Pele was first ever ambassador for erectile dysfunction, but said he never used Viagra.
All right, mate.
So
are you just thumbing it in? Is that what you're doing? Is that what you're doing?
That's an insecure straight guy at a Chapel Roan concert saying, "Well, I'm so straight.
I don't really know who Chapel Roan is.
Just because you know who Chapel Roan is, don't you?
I know what she looks like. Right. I don't know why she's a thing. What she's doing.
Finn, we all know you're straight. You don't need to hammer it home.
I can't stress. I don't know why she's popular. I don't know who she. I know what she looks like.
Yeah.
She hosted it Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. Well, it's like a straight guy going there for the music, but constantly having to remind people that he is straight.
I'm straight, by the way.
I'm straight, by the way. I like the music. I enjoy that's Pele going. I enjoy the idea of Viagra helping out many men, but doesn't mean I need it.
No. I'm giving it to everyone that I'm sucking off.
Yeah. Now, Ayatollah Khomeini, he's probably not using Viagra because
He's using the opposite of Viagra.
What, he makes it go?
Makes it go floppy.
Yeah, I guess it's to stop him having erections.
What's the opposite of Viagra?
I don't think that's a good Google.
Because I need it. Whatever it is. Whatever it is, sign me up. You see how I'm cross-legged for 3 hours?
Yeah.
That's got a raging lob on. Whenever I think about the Iranian Revolution, I get rock hard.
Yeah. My
end of my dick's like Khomeini's.
Well, yeah, my soldier, my cock is sort of like a North Korean military. It's always at attention, straight backed.
Yeah,
always ready for anything.
Terracotta army. That's what I call my cock and balls. I think that's a Freudian slip. You call it a soldier. I reckon that's the relationship you have to it.
What?
Get in there.
Pull yourself together, soldier.
You're always court-martialing it for coming too quickly.
Clean your boots up, for Christ's sake.
Inspection! Oh dear. Oh no, you've come again.
Let's get back to it.
An aphrodisiac is a substance that quells or blunts the libido. It's the opposite of an aphrodisiac. Yeah.
So let's get some examples of that.
Clinical studies show that Cialis does not reliably achieve I don't want a harder erection, Charlie. I want a softer.
He is struggling. He is being
I'm
weighed
erect
down
all the time.
There's barely any blood going to any part of his body because it's all going to the cock.
It's just all going in there. I need an Ayatollah to come and slap it down, whack-a-mole my dick.
In the way that Britain is too centralised around London, Finn's blood is all in his cock. We need to have bases up in Leeds. We need HS2 to make sure.
We need HS2 to my brain. The Canary Wharf of my dick and balls is powering the country's finances.
But at the cost of the rest.
The cost of the rest of the country. My hands are cold.
We need a northern powerhouse.
We need a northern. It's a white elephant. My spine's a white elephant.
Have we managed to not say one thing about what we're talking about in this episode?
No, we have. Pele.
Yeah.
No, this is Pele's around, but Zidane has not headbutted Marco Materazzi. Probably the most Ayatollah thing he does.
Was the headbutt?
Yeah. I reckon Ayatollah Khomeini likes a headbutt.
Yeah, he's got a good headbutt with that. Well, it's quite maybe softened by his turban.
That's true, actually.
Yeah, so that probably makes it. But maybe he takes it off and then has a spike underneath.
Yeah. Well, apparently, I watched a documentary on Al Jazeera. Apparently, he was an incredibly loving grandfather.
Oh, okay.
And
was he actually?
Yeah, he had 7 kids, I think.
Right.
7 kids.
Well, Hitler loved his dog.
Yep, that's a big old swing. Please don't cut our heads off. Although, I then also saw an interview with Mohammed bin Salman, who called Ayatollah Khomeini Hitler.
Right.
But famously, those two don't get on.
They don't get on.
Sunnis and Shiites. They don't like it.
We left off at the trigger of the Iranian Revolution, arguably, when the Shah mistakenly makes a bad move not mistakenly, he purposely, but it was a mistake to purposely call the Ayatollah a gay man, the straightest man in the world.
It's basically, it's Keir Starmer taking out space in the Sunday Times to call Boris Johnson a gay lord.
Right, yeah.
That's what he's done.
Yeah.
And it's the other way around. So it's Johnson. This is when Starmer's in opposition, and this causes riots because to lots of people, Khomeini's he's their icon. He's he as we were saying last time, he wears all black. He's a blank canvas onto which communists, middle class liberals, sort of more moderate religious people, they all put their ambitions and dreams for the country onto him, even though he is Dr. Grumpykins, the hardest, straightest, death penalty for sucking dicks. He hates everything. Yeah. He's a grumpy cunt, number one.
Yeah. Do you know what he'd be? You know Sean Walsh's podcast, What's Upset You Now?
He'd be great on that.
He'd be such a good guest, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would. Yeah.
He wouldn't
actually, because when you go on that, you talk about, like, when I went on that, I talked about low traffic neighbourhoods. Right. LTNs. Road works.
Why did that piss you off?
Well, don't get me fucking started on.
Well, let's say the Ayatollah's view.
No, my point is the Ayatollah would go on there and he'd be like, well, I'll tell you what I fucking hate is people sucking dicks. And then they'd have to be like, well, this is more...
It's a bit serious.
Bit serious, mate. I felt like you meant that.
More light-hearted.
Yeah, it's meant
I would love to know the little things that irked him, because I imagine there was a lot of... I guess he's not much of a small talker.
Doesn't like to see women's hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a little thing, I guess.
Well, again, I tell you what he probably does hate is how big the Quran is, because he still hasn't finished it. He's been reading for 20 years and he doesn't know how the story ends.
Read another book, lad.
Choose another book. Read a paper. Read the Beano. Khomeini's not reading the Beano.
He's not reading the Beano.
So he's in France, so he might be reading Charlie Hebdo, ironically. So Khomeini's in France, been kicked out of Iraq by Saddam. So he goes, where's the next smelliest place? France. And he becomes the rallying figure for opposition.
For quite a lot of troops. He's quite a cross-factional thing.
Broad church.
Very broad church.
Ironically.
Because it becomes an unbelievably narrow church.
I said the narrowest church there is. Islamic fundamentalism. There is no wiggle room for anything.
Yeah, they hate wiggle room, these guys.
No. Does it fit? No, get out. So his tapes, his bootlegs, is very dry music. It's all been smuggled in.
Terrible mixtapes.
But the West think he's like Gandhi. They think he's this kind of, he's beautiful, austere. Yeah. There's probably a bit of like noble savage racism into it as well.
Definitely.
In September 78.
Exoticized.
But basically, in 1978, there are increasing protests, and crucially, again, if we're talking about the Shah of Iran's big boo-boos, one of them is that he hasn't given the army or the police moderate crowd control. They've either got megaphones or bullets. Yeah. So when the crowds get too big, they just shoot everyone.
So they have a Bloody Friday, which is it's interesting how they don't come up with new terms. Everyone's got their Bloody Fridays, their Bloody Sundays. Has there been any Bloody Tuesdays?
I don't.
Bloody Tuesday, is that
it's always bloody.
Because it's Bloody Friday, it's Bloody Sunday. There's loads of Bloody Sundays. But like the Irish Bloody Sunday was like the fourth Bloody Sunday.
But you'd think like bloody, that's in Alabama.
Bloody Tuesday. So refers to brutal police attack on civil rights march in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Right, Bloody Wednesday. Let's get through
Wednesday?
it. Let's see.
Hang on, what's Bloody Monday? We haven't done Bloody Monday. What's Bloody Monday first? Monday Night Football.
Yeah, we've got Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher. So as you can see, let's stop it.
Bloody Mondays in Kentucky. There you go. Protestant mobs attacked Irish and German Catholics.
All right.
Bloody Tuesdays, Alabama in the 60s.
All right.
Bloody Wednesday.
Is there any day of the week that's not bloody? Doesn't have a bloody...
But you'd think after they've done one Bloody Sunday, they go, well, the next time it's Gory Sunday.
Yeah, it's
Or it's like Poopy Sunday.
That's quite disrespectful.
After a takeaway.
Bloody Wednesday is a film.
Hang on, scroll down. Bloody Wednesday. The event. Here we go. Kingdom of Poland. Operation Harvest Festival. Murder
pogrom.
of 43,000 Jews.
Okay, now he's excited.
What the fuck? Hang on.
Pogrom. It's a pogrom.
Right.
It's a Polish pogrom.
But that's what I mean. Bloody Sunday is like...
Bloody Thursday. Let's complete the list.
Hang on. As the bloodies go up, do the number 43,000 on one day?
Well, you'd imagine near the end of the week there's going to be more people congregating.
Right, I see what you mean. Bloody Thursday, which police killed 2 longshoremen. So hang on. So Bloody Wednesday, 43,000 Jews died. Bloody Thursday is just 2.
Yeah.
I think. Do you know what? I'd say that's not enough for a.
Well, let's see. Yeah, 2.
I'd say that's just a bad Thursday.
That's a rubbish Thursday. And we've got Bloody Friday.
Bloody Friday's in
that's what we're
Iran.
talking about.
Bloody Saturday.
Yeah, that Bloody Thursday, they're really fucking clutching. They're undermining.
Bloody Saturday can refer to several historical events.
Let's have a look, scroll down.
A photograph of a crying baby after a Japanese... What?
Refers to the climax of the Winnipeg general strike where mounted police unit busted fire into the crowd.
One in Shanghai during the Second World War.
Right, so there's bloodies on every day of the week.
But I will say that Bloody Thursday is the least... is the least... Go back to what that was.
It was two longshoremen...
In the San Francisco general strike, sparking a major confrontation. No. You can't have that.
Yeah.
That's just bad Thursday.
Anyway, so...
Unlucky Thursday. Unlucky for you.
So on Bloody Friday...
43,000 plays two longshoremen. That's not fair.
So the Shah causes Bloody Friday. It makes the crowd even madder. But then, one of the podcasts I was listening to, they basically said that he acted the dictator, but he couldn't follow it through. Right, because he was only kind of like a half dictator. So a proper dictator probably would have just kept putting his foot down on protesters.
Yeah.
But then him, I don't know, being insecure, having a whole kind of daddy complex, probably couldn't deal with this lack of love.
Well, he'd be like, "Well, stop them! Don't shoot them! Okay, I'm going on holiday. Bye."
Yeah,
like,
that's kind of
what happens.
It all came to head in about 4 months, and a lot of it was that it just seemed like a complete political meltdown. He just. Fucking lost his lid.
People keep protesting and he goes, stop them, but he hasn't given them tear gas, so they just shoot people. And he goes, don't shoot people. And they go, well, what else do you want us to do?
And they don't do
and
anything.
He goes, I've booked a holiday. And they go, what? And he goes, see ya. And then, in August 78, there's a massive fire, which is actually in a cinema in Abadan, which is the oil place.
It's a horrendous fire, actually. 400...
It's an Islamist terrorist attack.
Yeah.
They burn the cinema down, but the Shah gets blamed and Khomeini gets... give credit for being the opposition, even though the people who do it are much closer to Khomeini than they are the Shah.
Biggest terrorist attack was the most deadly terrorist attack until 9/11.
No,
yeah, most
really?
deadly. Yeah, it was the
wow.
Because so many people died. Normally people get out, but they were locked in. And yeah, the fact that it got blamed on him and it was the complete opposite people.
Yeah. What were they showing?
You need Alistair Campbell in there. Who's your spin doctor?
I mean, the Shah really need Alistair Campbell.
Look at that. You've been spanned terribly.
What film was playing, Charlie?
Yeah, it depends which film is playing, to be fair.
Because it might have been so bad that they just went, do you know what, lock the door, set fire to all of us.
What they do, but what's with a lot of like the Islamic terrorism, what's the point you're making here?
It was Asian MILFs 4.
Oh, right, fair enough.
Right, fair enough. 4 men allegedly barred the doors of the cinema, doused it with petrol and started the fire.
Now, what are you doing that for?
Fucking hell. At least 377.
370, but yeah.
Others' theories suggest the fire was a false flag operation where one group set the fire to frame another group. But I think Islamists claimed credit for it. But it doesn't really matter because the Shah gets all the...
Yeah.
He gets all the heat.
Crazy.
So, basically, there's just... In 78... There's in the September onwards, there's just people on the streets a lot, and every time the Shah tries to stop it, people get shot, and so it's proper like end of days tyranny. Now, this is the really funny bit. In December, he goes on the news and he goes, right, I've heard you. I know your demands for revolution, and I think I should be the one to lead the revolution. Yeah. And everyone listening goes, oh, what? This is a revolution? Oh, no one's called it that yet. Great, let's fucking bin you off. So he's the first one to call it a revolution. So he completely fucks it.
All revolutions, they're always hallmarked by the person in charge at multiple moments completely fucking it. There's always turning points that they just choose your own adventure, wrong one every time.
No, not that one. You fucked it. Do I shoot everyone or do I give in to demands? I shot everyone. Brilliant.
Fuck.
So, basically, he's motivated because there were all these strikes and protests and they paralysed the country and nothing's working. Blah, blah, blah. He goes up, says, I'm going to lead the revolution. Everyone goes, oh, it's a revolution. Fuck you then. And in January, so bear in mind that the fire was in August.
Yeah.
And in, what's that, September, October, November, 4 months, the Shah's completely fucked it.
Yeah.
He's also got cancer, but he's not telling anyone.
Yeah.
So he's feeling a bit sad.
Yeah.
His treatment makes him sad.
Yeah.
Should make him happy.
What?
The treatment.
Happier.
Yeah.
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 Not happy. Yeah.
Well, I'd be like, cheer up, you're getting treated for it. Anyway.
Smiles free, love, is what I'd be saying.
Yeah, come on. Cheer up, might never happen. Oh, what's happening now? Okay, well, fair enough. Anyway, so I think it's the 10th of January. He goes, I haven't been on holiday for 3 weeks. I'm going to book another one.
I mean, look, to be fair, he's got principles. He will not stay in his own country.
Now, where does he go first?
Does he not go to New York?
No, that's later. That's later. He goes to maybe Turkey, Paris, maybe. He's got some dicks that are still unsucked in Switzerland.
Right.
The trial travelled to Egypt, Morocco, the Bahamas, and Mexico. So that's where he goes.
Fair enough.
He goes, you know what? I've never been down there.
Bahamas.
Yeah, that's a pretty sick. He's like, fuck it, I'm going snorkeling.
Don't go to the Bahamas. At least go to like a cold country on a cultural trip. But now, just you like fucking lounging.
There is quite a funny possible reinterpretation of the Iranian Revolution where it turns out you could argue that the Shah has pre-booked several holidays.
Right.
And this is from like the 50s onwards.
Yeah.
He's pre-booked 30 years of holidays and it's just always at the wrong time.
What are you going to do? You're not going to let that money go to waste.
I got a great deal on the 50s on holidays. The rest. Someone said you can go wherever, you can have a round the world ticket if you take 30 years to go to these places. So anyway, so he fucks off to the Bahamas, does some snorkeling, and there's a vacuum, and he thinks he's coming back as well. And then Khomeini,
this is the big moment,
Khomeini is called for by the people. They're lifting up the face, Mr. Grumpykins, please come back.
Yeah.
And the Shah has erected this massive monument as well, the Shah's monument, which is meant to be the symbol of modernity. And people are congregating around there, like throwing shit at it, and they're lifting photos of Grumpykins, and all the West are like, oh, this is they're just about his.
But him going on the news saying, "I've heard you," I'm kind of like, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
just that weakness just makes it immediately real, and he's lost all authority.
He's fucked it.
Yeah.
So then Khomeini, everyone calls for him to come back.
So him walking down off the plane, we'll show footage of that. That's the big moment.
And he is asked by a journalist as he's flying in. You know, bear in mind, he's not been in Iran since '64.
Yeah. He's
so
been
what's
keeping
that?
it stum as well.
He's 16 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And he's been keeping it pretty tight-lipped and grumpy. He's been having to watch Mr. Bean for 15 years and he's not laughed once. That's how grumpy he is. Right? And the journalist asks him, how do you feel? And he says, I feel nothing. Because
I believe him.
He's still trying to finish his book.
Yeah.
He's not laughed once. He's bored.
Yeah. He's bored.
Someone should make a montage of him sat by himself with that song, everybody's talking at me. I don't hear a word I'm saying. Only the echoes of my mind. I won't let you leave. Because he's just always sad on his own, isn't he? Anyway, so he comes back and people go fucking apeshit. Because as we say, there are middle-class Marxists, moderates, liberals. They're thinking, brilliant, we're finally going to have political rights. They're going to get rid of the secret police. Yeah. They're going to have whatever police force comes next. I reckon it'll be better.
Yeah.
I reckon
it can't be worse.
It can't be worse. It can't be worse. Iran's can't get worse. The only way is up.
Yeah. Things
can only get better. Yeah, it's like Blair. If it's like Blair gets elected, 1997, 2nd of May 97, he starts war in Iraq.
Right.
It's like that.
Right.
That's what happens here.
Right.
He just fast tracks to the shit bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he does all. He's shaking hands. He's getting photos with babies, all that shit. He's signing women's tits.
Saying you'll burn in hell.
Yeah, you're burning. I don't want to see these. You're burning hell. Put them away. Put it away, love. That's what it's. That's his signature. Put it away, love. Sign the Ayatollah. And he now he holds because his whole thing, which we didn't talk about, is you all right?
Yeah, sorry.
You just got bored there. You just started poking the mic. His whole thing. Look, it's a big record. It's a big topic. A lot's going on.
Sorry, I completely stimmed there.
That's all right. Rachel just started. It was like when monkeys pick bugs.
Yeah.
You just started picking hairs off the microphone.
Well, I just noticed the flatness at the top of this microphone, and I just really wanted to put my palm on there. And then you pulled me right back to reality.
Do you want to look at Google Maps for a bit and chill out?
Can you put Subway Surfer on?
Can we get
on the second screen? Can we just have some satisfying videos, please?
Yeah, that Japanese woman shoving bread in her face. Put that on. So Khomeini comes back, and his whole thing that he's been working on in exile is, apart from reading the book, is he's been talking about a council of like jurists or something. Like his whole vibe is that Islamic government should be about guiding people, protecting the religion, like people can't be trusted to implement it themselves. It's a very top down, like
paternalistic.
The jurist of Islam.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be happy with how you're sitting currently.
Well, you had to straight back.
I'm the Ayatollah of this podcast. Charlie's first against the wall. All his sexual proclivities.
The Ayatollah would fucking hate you.
The Ayatollah, Charlie, of all three of us, I reckon I've got the longest with him.
I think you wouldn't mind. Yeah.
You're showing too much shin. Charlie says, "How you doing, mate? I've just come from a rimming or whatever," and he's like, "Right, well, you're in the bin." I reckon I can maybe chat 5 minutes with him before it gets a bit fruity. Anyway, there's a referendum, right? Do you want an Islamic Republic? And what I think people in Iran do is they think republic, great, president, get rid of the king, people, democracy, brilliant, let's have that. And then they don't realise that he said Islamic.
No, I don't think that's actually. I think it's because the actual thing on the referendum was either the monarchy, what we had before, the guy we just binned off, that massive pussy, or do you want a government that upholds Islamic principles?
Right.
So it's a super vague.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Sounds.
I guess I'll have that one then.
Yeah, let's go for that.
And if
brilliant,
listen, you can. Psych. You can say many things about Ayatollah Khomeini, but what you cannot deny is that his government is upholding Islamic principles.
Yeah.
To the lesser.
Yeah.
What happens if I'm gay? Death penalty.
Yeah.
Off a building. Bye. Night. What happens if I'm a woman? I want to get my hair out. In the bin.
In the bin.
You're going in the bin. You're going in the big bin of Iran.
Yeah.
With all the gays and the women with
something we
hair.
didn't mention in any of the episodes, but was a key part as well, was the Shah was recognised the state of Israel. So this is a huge part of it as well.
Yeah, the Shah, because obviously being funded by America. So Shah goes. I love the term recognise. Like, oh, it's you. Yeah, whereas it's like, oh, Israel. It's Israel, right?
Yeah.
And then, but everyone else in Iran's like,
yeah, well, it's just like when you're having a falling out with a friend and they're ignoring you, they're purposely not making eye contact with you.
Yeah. Anyway, Khomeini, he then institutes an Islamic Republic after the referendum gets like 98%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
killed it.
Yes, please. Yeah, he nailed it. He's absolutely smashed it.
Nothing suspicious about a 98% win.
But again, the referendum was essentially: do you want the smelly pussy back? or do you want
like a vaguely
good, probably, maybe, probably better, who knows, let's give it a go.
And then they start, quite similar to the Cultural Revolution, quite similar to the French Revolution, there's sort of these quite like student-led bodies, right? Well,
yeah, so it's then kind of all the gloves are off, so he forms a Revolutionary Guard.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that it's a Revolutionary Guard rather than a Republican Guard.
Yes.
Like it's to protect the revolution rather than the Republic.
Even though I heard someone on a podcast saying that you could argue that he was a counter-revolutionary, that it was actually a counter-revolution.
That's what they say.
Right.
Because Iran, in Iran's head, right, 1979 plays 1953.
Right.
So from their perspective, it's 1-1.
Right.
They think the Americans in the West, I mean, they call America Great Satan and Britain Little Satan, which I'm very happy with. we'll take Little Satan.
We take Little Satan. We've been called worse.
So in their head, they still go on about 53.
Right.
They won't let it go. Whereas we're like, fucking get over it, mate.
Yeah.
Come on.
You've done some fucked up shit as well.
Yeah. We didn't build the fucking prisons for you. That was the Nazis.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We all have a coloured history.
Let he without sin cast the first stone, or whatever that is.
And then you get stoned to death.
And then, oh, we've all sucked a dick, mate. You know,
he has not sucked a dick cast the first stone.
People in glass houses can't be throwing those stones. No, you're getting stoned to death, mate. You're getting stoned to death. So he forms the Revolutionary Guard. I think the Shah had... the other thing the Shah had done is that Jimmy Carter had come into power.
Not Jimmy Carr. Sorry, I thought you were about to say Jimmy Carr.
Jimmy Carr.
That would be real left field if he came into this story.
Jimmy Carr starts workshopping some of his jokes in early...
they hate him over there.
They really don't like him. All is, say what you want about free speech, but it is contextual.
Red has that amazing joke about the Saudi Arabian Jimmy Carr just being someone who says nice things about women. And all the people in Saudi Arabia are like, I can't wait to see what kind of fucked up shit's he going to say tonight. So good.
I reckon they should vote. Fucking hell, this guy.
That's dark.
This guy's going to get cancelled. That's so funny.
Says it. He fucking says it.
Say what you want. He didn't give a fuck, this guy. No, Jimmy Carter has come to power in America in, I think, 78, maybe? No, 77. And
after Gerald Ford, who came in after Nixon.
So he's come in on a whole anti-corruption, human rights ticket.
Maybe the most liberal president of all time. Like
the wettest president there's ever been.
Yeah. Quite an odd bloke as well. He was a peanut farmer.
Yeah.
He came from, a background of peanut farming.
Pedophile.
The pedophile.
Peanut file.
Apparently,
from Kentucky or Alabama, I think.
Apparently, he was like his main problem because I was listening to a podcast about all the presidents, and there was in general, there's lots of people who aren't across the detail. Like Trump's not across detail of policy, right?
Yeah.
And that can be too far one way, but he was too far the other way. He was across everything, even so much so he was booking the White House tennis courts. So he handled the bookings on that.
Oh wow! Yeah. You don't need to be doing that, mate.
So there's
got to be someone whose job that is.
He's making sure all the lights are off to save energy. Like seriously.
At the end of the night, right? Someone switch the lights off. Come on.
You're president, Jimmy.
Jimmy, delegate. Learn to delegate.
I have a lot of time for Jimmy. I'd love to do an episode on Jimmy Carter.
I'm sure we will.
So also, Jimmy Carter lived so long. Right.
Yeah, he only just died.
Because I saw this TikTok. Maybe it's a TikTok. Jimmy Carter enjoys his 99th birthday, right? And I think the word. Celebrate his 99th birthday. I think the word celebrate is maybe a strong use for it. You've never seen an older man in your life. It's fucking like a sneeze will kill him.
Where's your phone? Just show me on your phone. Oh my God. That's his 100th birthday.
100th birthday, is it?
So if you're listening, there's a flyover for Jimmy Carter, and he is basically propped up in a bed with his mouth open, swallowing flies, just looking at planes. But are his eyes open? I mean, he's a waxwork. He's a fucking waxwork. I mean, I just think if I get to that point, just fucking pin me. Just put me in a bullet.
What do you mean celebrate?
Well, by celebrating, I mean put into daylight. Happy birthday, Jim. Fucking hell, that's sad.
God,
that's more depressing than any of this.
It's amazing that he's held on so long.
Yeah. So Jimmy Carter has come in, and his whole thing is human rights, ethical foreign policy, because of the whole Nixon thing, and because it's post-Vietnam. So when the Shah...
This is 70s America, so even like in the films of 70s America, it's confusion, it's anxiety,
taxi driver,
paranoia. There's an identity crisis in America. So Jimmy Carter is kind of a result of that, where it's like we don't know where we stand in the world anymore. We want someone who's good. We want to be good. And the Shah is obviously imprisoning people, killing dissidents. So Jimmy Carter, who's funding the Shah, is leaning on and saying, "Hey man, can you fucking help me out? I'll give you some peanuts if you stop killing people." And it's like then,
hey boy, do you know what it's like? It's like the guy from Family Guy. Hey, do you want some peanuts? Anyway, so the whole point is that the Shah, he starts to release prisoners.
Yeah.
So he releases people who hate him into the streets, and it basically in the space of like 2 years, he starts fast tracking, trying to, as a panic, give Iranians political freedoms that they've never had, even since this is since the beginning we started this series, 1906. They've never had political freedom at all. It's been a one-party state for the last 4 years, and he goes, "Oh shit, okay, sorry," and just tries to give them everything, which then immediately means they're all out in the street. And when Khomeini comes in, he's like, he then just starts killing them all. Yeah, he just goes, he just kills everyone that the Shah released from prison.
Oh right,
he's like, "Fuck you, you can all fucking get in the bin." He just starts. This is where they start doing like death squads. They're going around, and at this point, like all the Marxists and stuff, they're like, yeah, obviously it's a revolution, man. It's going to get a bit groovy for a bit.
Off with your head.
Yeah. Look, we've all sucked a bit of dicks around here. Bang, dead. Yeah. And there's this, they're trying to tell themselves, they're like, oh, it's all right. It's a revolution. Yeah. It's all going to get a bit grisly, but it will stop. Yeah. It still hasn't stopped.
Right.
We're in 2025. It's still not stopped.
And it's interesting with Jimmy Carter as well. The kind of like, I don't know, being the liberal, ethical guy shows the limitations of kind of liberal foreign policy.
But when
no matter how good your good intentions are, when you're dealing with these sort of things, you cannot just have a soft hand.
When you're on the phone to Dr. Grumpy Cunt, or whatever his name is, Grumpykins.
You might have to, just diplomacy, you have to compromise on some of your...
You've got to meet him halfway.
Yeah.
Or you meet him none of the way, which I think is what Grumpykins famously. You don't really meet him halfway.
He's not really a halfway kind of guy, Grumpykins.
What about a burqa just below the tits? No,
off with your head.
Off with your head. Get your head off. So Ayatollah starts getting the death squads around, shooting people, and as you say, students who are, it's still not fully settled into the Islamic Republic proper yet. Yeah. There's still this kind of post-revolution craziness in 1979. Yeah. People running around. There's still, women are still, they got their tits out.
Right.
That's about to end.
Yeah.
Tits are about to go away for a long time.
Yeah, they're being put
You're
into
going away for a long time, love.
Yeah.
That's what
the tits have been put into deep storage.
The tits have been found in a car park and by a TikTok nonce guy. You're going away for a long time, love. And you.
I didn't know, I swear.
Who are you here to meet? You two. You go home. You're being banged up for a long time. So there's then what happens is the American embassy in Tehran, of which there are, hundreds of people working there.
It's a huge embassy, obviously, because America has a lot of influence in the region.
Well, America's been bankrolling the fucking government.
But it's like, even in quite like poor areas, you can see this giant compound. It's like a huge symbol of.
And at all times, there are people on the street with a photo of Dr. Grumpykins and another. They're shouting "Death to the West."
They love getting together and shouting.
They hate the West because the whole thing is finally we're taking back our country. By the people, for the people. Too much Western influence. What is that black stuff? Can someone please tell us? What's that? What is it?
Is it Guinness? I don't even know what that is either.
Are we allowed to drink it? I don't know what it is.
Is this the beginning of the angry Middle Eastern mob? Because now, growing up, just BBC News is this endless
angry Middle Eastern mob.
It's endless videos from all over the Middle East, just livid,
firing
just different people. This is kind of the start of that sort of stuff, I reckon.
Well, no, because there's been like revolutions.
I guess because it's televised.
The fact is that this is televised, and people are charging around in flares. Anyway. So there's a mob outside the American embassy, and this is in 1979. There's this group of militant students and Khomeini followers.
But like a lot of revolutions, French Revolution, Cultural Revolution, capturing the youth, capturing the student body, basically you build your own revolution, and then really passionate, unemployed students get together and they become their own militant groups, having a scary amount of power in the sort of confusion of the revolution. Happens quite regularly, and this is what happened here.
So they storm the embassy, and this is the beginning, if you film Argo, if everyone's seen that, where they're inside being like, fuck it, burn everything. Yeah. And so they take 52 American diplomats and citizens hostage. Well, actually, they take more than that hostage. They take about... I think it's nearly 70 hostage, but so Khomeini hears about this, and again, like you say,
so Khomeini didn't plan this.
No, but he backs it. It happens in his name, and he backs it. But, and this is one of the great psychs of all time, he goes, 70 American hostages, okay, release the black ones.
The David Brent move. My favourite film actor is Sidney Poitier.
Yeah. Some of my best hostages are black. And he just lets all the black ones go. He goes,
it's a great move.
It's fuck you, the West. Oh, this guy's woke, actually, it turns out. He's got blue hair under that turban. Grumpykins, we underestimated you. He lets all the black ones go.
That's such a good move.
Such a good move. Do you know what? I don't know how long we're going to do this podcast for, but I'm just going to say now, that's up there with the best moves.
That's a great move.
I think so far of all the things we've covered, that's...
Well, what he's best at is he bides his time and then he just pounces at the right moment, you know? He doesn't fuck it.
The black people are oppressed in America, so we're going to let you go free.
To make it seem like it's a social justice.
And to the leftists in America, they're lapping this up. They're like, this guy. Who is this Gandhi-esque?
Yeah.
Who's this Che Guevara, this Jesus, you know?
Yeah.
We haven't talked about the Mahdi, have we? We should probably talk about that.
Yeah.
Because part of Khomeini's appeal, which I should have said in the last episode, is that, well, in the Book of Revelation, there's this idea of a white horse and the Messiah returning. And in Islam, that's called the Mahdi. Yeah. And so...
Yes.
Yes, please don't cut my head off. Yes. It's a messianic figure believed to appear in the days before Judgment Day and the end of the world.
But there's also similar myths in Zoroastrianism, whatever it's called, Zoroastrianism, the Persian religion. they have a lot of apocalyptic myths that also feed into this, that
And I just remembered, this is an interesting fact, even though it's going back in the timeline, just before the Shah leaves, he changes the calendar from the Islamic one to like a Persian one.
Right.
So overnight, this is how mental this is, overnight the year changes from like 16 something to 2535.
Wait, so overnight, both are not the Western calendar?
No, he goes to, we're actually taking the date from the Persian calendar. So a millennia fast forwards overnight in their head. How mental would that be if you're just alive and you're like, oh, it's 2025, and someone goes, oh, actually it's 3000. You'd be like, what
the fuck?
What the fuck?
We don't have flying cars yet.
What do you mean it's 3025? So Khomeini, the students rush in. They take the people hostages. Khomeini releases the black ones, which is one of the best moves we've ever seen.
He's a virtue signaller. Now,
Carter this is huge news in America.
One of the first kind of televised hostage situations. Yeah.
So there are 52 American diplomats, and they are. So Jimmy Carter, the first thing he does is, I'll trade you some peanuts for those hostages.
And it's like, Jimmy, it's not how
this isn't
how it works.
Get off the farm, man. You're dealing with the grumpiest cunt there's ever been. And he's like, okay, I'll salt them. Ready salted. Ready salted.
Dry roasted. Honey roasted.
Do you want some like Nobby's nuts? What the fuck do you want? I got loads of peanuts, man.
I'm trying to get rid of these peanuts. They're going to go off.
Yeah. Do you want to swap some peanuts?
I can't sell these fucking peanuts for love nor money.
Do you want to swap oil for peanuts, maybe? Do you have any peanuts in Iran? So he condemns the attack, right, and immediately calls for the safe release of hostages. But bear in mind, they're not just get forward. But
and then the Ayatollah says, "Fair enough," and release them safely.
Yeah.
After Jimmy Carter condemns it and asks for them, he goes, "Fair enough, you've made your point."
So bear in mind that the hostages this crisis will go on for over a year.
Yeah.
It's 440 days. The entire time this is happening, Jimmy Carter keeps the Iranian embassy open in the US.
Yeah.
Which is like the weakest.
He's the cuckest president.
He's the cuck president. Yeah, he's the cuck president. He's watching Bill Clinton jizz on Monica Lewinsky's dress, and he's jacking off on it. That's why he's in his chair like that, watching Bill Clinton fucking intern. Jimmy Carter celebrates Bill Clinton impeachment. So the hostages they're not having a good time in there. No. I think it's pretty rubbish time.
Yeah. And obviously you've seen the film Argo, because it all happened so quickly, they didn't have time to properly destroy a lot of the sensitive documents. They just ran them through like a stripper.
Because obviously they've got all the documents about like 53 in there, right? They've got they'll probably have loads of Iranian sleeper cells. They'll have American CIA agents.
Assets in another country. And then they carefully, piece by piece, the regime gets like just children to slowly read peace on like a clipboard.
All the hostages were threatened repeatedly with execution. They played Russian roulette with some of the hostages. Kept in handcuffs the first 2 weeks. There's a guy who's kept in solitary confinement for several months. On 2 occasions, when he expressed his opinion of Ayatollah Khomeini, he was severely punished. Second time he was beaten and kept alone in a freezing cell for 2 weeks. It's all pretty bad stuff. Yeah. And Jimmy Carter, every few months, is going on the news going, okay, don't worry, I'm sure we can find an amount of peanuts that will lead to their release.
Well, this is interesting. One of the hostages did a hunger strike. Yeah, if you're a hostage.
Are you being fed that much anyway?
Yeah, I don't really know what... Well, yeah, we're threatening to kill you, lad.
I will not eat another peanut until All right, fine.
Well, I'm playing Russian roulette with you, lad.
One of the hostages described threats to boil their feet in oil.
Cut their eyes out.
Kidnap and kill a disabled son in America. Start sending pieces of them to your wife. Fucking hell. That sounds like Rachel Reeves. Not to get all, have I got news for you on this? I like Rachel Reeves. One of the hostage got sent home because he had MS. Fair enough.
Well, look, they're woke.
Yeah, they are.
They're woke.
You feeling it? Right, go home.
He's disabled, got MS. Black,
disabled, go home. Yeah. If you get a blue badge, you can go home. I've got ME. You're staying. The guards often withheld mail.
Well, that's not the worst.
I think if they're cutting up the disabled son, I'm not sure
if they're boiling your feet in oil, I think
I don't see anything for you, Mr. Scott. Are you sure your wife has not found another man? Christ. Oh, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I mean, so what Carter does, this is fucking hilarious. So at some point, Carter goes, right, it's been 6 months. they don't seem to be taking my peanut offer seriously. No. I'm going to send the boys in.
Yeah.
So
he's the politest president as well.
Yeah,
so
he
he's
is.
very politely.
Because ethical foreign policy, post-Watergate. So in April 1980, so 6 months after the hostage crisis, the Carter launches an operation called Operation Eagle Claw. And
Right.
this is an ambitious, completely illegal,
Right.
In terms of like, if this fails, they cause a war, right? They're going to send some helicopters, special forces helicopters, into the desert. They're then going to refuel, and then they're going to fly in one go from there to Tehran. They're going to get in and they're just going to extract them from. They're going to basically, like the London embassy series, they're going to do that, but in Iran, in America, get them back to the desert, get them back out on planes, right?
Jobs are good.
Jobs are good.
They miscalculate how far long the desert is.
It turns out Iran's massive.
Yeah.
And they get there and they go, oh, fuck it. So they land.
Which I felt I could have said that.
But
just go on Google Maps. They didn't have Google Maps.
No, they didn't have it. This is before Google Maps.
Right.
So they land basically on a road, right, in the middle of nowhere, and a couple of trucks come towards them. And they're like, well, we're meant to not be spotted here. So they shoot the trucks, right? First one stops. The second one, they fire an anti-tank weapon at it, like a rocket launcher. And as they fire it, they go, oh, is that a massive fuel? That's a fuel tanker, isn't it? So basically, their secret operation has just set fire to an oil tanker in the middle of the desert. And the Iranians are like, that's not a bit unusual. What's going on over there?
Yeah.
So there's then a dust cloud, which means they can't take off properly. So they try taking off. And the helicopters crash into each other.
Because the dust cloud.
Yeah. And
they hit each other, both helicopters explode. And then
about 6 US servicemen die or something like that.
And then Iranians, there's lots of pictures posted of Iranian, like, gloating with charred corpses, which is a terrible look, I think.
But it's also something that they will do in the Iraq War. That's part of the Middle Eastern anti-American. They will always pose with the charred corpse of an American. Yeah. They love it. I'm wearing a t-shirt saying "I'm with stupid." Oh, it's really nice not being burned alive.
Yeah. Peace sign behind their head.
They'll have like a t-shirt saying like Texas barbecue, and they'll be like, "He's from Texas." Wanga. So, basically, a few people get home, but it's this operation. Obviously, you got to imagine that the hostage situation is on the news like every fucking night, all night. Fox News isn't really a thing, but
what's the reason for them taking the American hostage? What are they hoping to gain from it?
Oh fuck, we didn't even say. Christ, I know. Right. Yeah. Sorry, it's been a long series. In November, the Shah, his cancer gets diagnosed as terminal.
Right.
He needs specific treatment, so he asks the US if he can go to New York. They let him in, and as soon as the pictures of him arrive in New York go back, that's when the students attack the embassy.
Right.
So it's because the Shah is in New York, being treated by the Americans, which optics-wise is just really bad because everyone hates the Shah, the American emperors. Right. So they storm the embassy. And anyway, so...
But what is when you have a hostage, you have demands. What are their demands?
They don't fucking give a shit.
But what are they taking the hostage for then?
Peanuts.
Fair enough.
So Carter then basically loses the presidency essentially because no one's ever looked weaker because he tried a special operation. It's like, when they got Bin Laden and Obama strides forwards and goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, we got it."
Yeah.
Jimmy Carter goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, we fucked it." Both the helicopters crashed. We blew up an oil tanker, and 6 Americans are dead. We fucked it.
You're just hoping when you're president that your special forces get some big scalps so you can come out and say, "Yeah, I did it."
Died like a dog. You want that one? You want the head of ISIS? Yeah. Trump gets out and just starts.
Trump gets it, but Obama got Bin Laden. That's still the big
terrible
fish.
Dog. He died like a dog. Yeah. Carter basically kills his own boys, loses 2 helicopters,
and then that's why they elect. 80s, very different decade. Strong man, America's strong again, action films. Forget about Taxi Driver, introspective new wave cinema.
Total
now
Recall.
It's fucking Schwarzenegger, it's Stallone. We're back,
Hasta
baby.
La Vista. Yeah.
Big muscly guys. Reagan used to be an actor coming in.
So within 15 minutes of Reagan's inauguration, Khomeini releases all the hostages.
Because
fuck Carter.
fair enough.
Fuck Carter. Just because it's funny. Because the guy's, you know, I mean, he's Mr. Grumpykins, but he's pretty funny.
Yeah, I guess that's a good bit.
So after 440 days, literally, as Reagan swears in the Bible, he goes, yeah, you can all go now. And they go home.
I guess it's because of a lot of his problems probably were with Carter's dealings with Iran.
Yeah.
So once they've got Carter out, he feels like he's meddled enough with America that he can give them back.
But this is why America and Iran fucking hate each other now. Is this hostage crisis, essentially.
Yeah.
Is because America still haven't got over it.
Yeah.
And Iran still haven't got over 53.
Right.
And
both countries with very long memories.
Famously.
Yeah.
So I think that probably takes us to the end of our Iran series.
Omega.
To sum this up in a word, in a sort of sentence.
A word?
A sentence.
Ambitious.
I'd say the history of Iran from 1907 to present day is sort of like the career of Mia Khalifa.
Go on.
In that originally she's sucking everyone off, getting fucked in every hole. Right. And at some point she goes, do you know what? I'm autistic and I'm a businesswoman now. I'd like to be taken seriously.
Are you saying Mia Khalifa's in her Ayatollah period?
Yes.
Ayatollah era?
Yes, yeah, I am. I am saying that.
Ayatollah Khalifa.
Ayatollah Khalifa. Yeah. Mrs. Grumpykins. To give her a full name. That's. I think that's where we are.
Thanks so much for listening, guys. We'll be back next week with I don't know what, but there'll be a Patreon episode this week. Well, should we do it about the London siege? We don't know what
we're going to do.
Yeah.
But there'll be, if you want to become a truther and get a bonus episode every Friday, then sign up. It's just £3 and you get everything ad free, and you get access to everything first thing on a Monday. Either way, thank you so much for listening.
Death to the West.
Death to the West. Thank you so much for learning. God bless Mia Khalifa and all who sail and her.
And goodbye, Akbar.
Goodbye, Akbar.